Picture this. You're a high society lady in Regency, England. You've got the gown, the gloves, and the perfect poised posture. But before you even think about stepping into the grand ballroom, you need to complete your look. So, you reach for your lead-based foundation. You darken your brows with actual toxic metals. And if your teeth are looking a little rough, no worries. Just pop in some porcelain veneers. Who needs real teeth anyway? Beauty in the Regency era was not for the faint of heart, and in today's episode, we're peeling back the layers, literally, to uncover the extreme, dangerous, and downright bizarre beauty rituals of the past. Ready to find out what women endured in the name of elegance? Let's dive in. The Regency era in the United Kingdom lasted from 1811 to 1820. But when it comes to fashion and beauty, we often extend this period from about 1790 to 1837. This was a time of social change, refinement, and a shift towards more natural beauty ideals. A key influence on beauty trends during this time? The French Revolution. Before the Revolution, aristocratic beauty was all about heavy white paint, beauty patches, and exaggerated makeup. But after the Revolution, these excesses became associated with the doomed French elite, and society turned to a more natural look. The goal was to appear effortlessly elegant, though, of course, effort was still very much required. Women in this era had limited power in society, but beauty was one of the few realms where they could exert influence. A carefully cultivated appearance could attract advantageous marriages, secure social standing, and even wield subtle power over those around them. The Duchess of Devonshire, Georgiana Cavendish, was a prime example of this. A renowned beauty and fashion icon of her time, Georgiana understood that beauty and style could be used strategically to command attention and shape public perception. Despite her high status, she also faced intense public scrutiny, proving that even the most admired women had to walk a fine line between admiration and scandal. Etiquette books and ladies' magazines were full of strict rules about appearance. A woman's beauty was seen as a reflection of her moral character, and makeup was to be used subtly, if at all. As the Mirror of the Graces, 1811, advised, good sense must so preside over its application that its tint on the cheeks may always be fainter than what nature's palette would have painted. In other words, rouge was acceptable, but only in moderation. So what was considered beautiful in the Regency era? A smooth, pale complexion, a natural, rosy glow, and red-tinted lips. Unlike earlier periods where obvious makeup was the norm, Regency beauty was all about appearing naturally radiant. Of course, this look often wasn't achieved naturally at all. Women took great care to maintain their complexions. Tan skin was a major faux pas, associated with the working class or poor health. Ladies avoided the sun at all costs, using bonnets, veils, and parasols to keep their skin fair. There were also countless homemade and manufactured remedies for freckles, blemishes, and wrinkles. One famous skincare product of the time was Godlin's lotion, used to treat various skin concerns. However, it contained mercuric chloride. Yes, mercury, which could literally burn off the top layer of skin. Another popular remedy was rose water mixed with vinegar to tone the skin. Some women swore by a mixture of egg whites and lead powder to create a smooth porcelain finish, though we now know just how toxic that was. After cleansing the body, the second half of the Georgian lady's cosmetic regime would be to paint her face. The early modern obsession with the white English self as a representation of civility, virtue, and purity heavily influenced notions of beauty and cosmetic practices. Throughout the 18th century, these ideals of whiteness endured, while tan skin and freckles continued to be negatively associated with the lower, laboring ranks. There was a widespread belief that those whose skin was darkened by the sun must belong to the unrefined, uneducated, and unfortunate, as they were forced to toil outdoors. Porcelain white skin, on the other hand, symbolized social and ethnic superiority. The most popular method of whitening the skin was the highly toxic ceruse. This white lead and vinegar paste, commonly associated with Elizabeth I, not only acted as a whitening foundation, but also helped conceal smallpox scars, acne, and freckles. It was an ideal solution for achieving a smooth, pale complexion, if one could ignore the severe health risks of lead poisoning. Rouge was then applied to the cheeks and lips to enhance the whitened face. Made from cochineal, crushed beetles, fucus, seaweed, and red mercury, the rouge was just as toxic as the ceruse. Final cosmetic embellishments included darkening the eyebrows and lashes with lead shavings, inserting porcelain veneers over rotting teeth, stuffing balls of cork into the mouth to plump up sagging cheeks, and covering scars with beauty spots made of silk or velvet. These beautifying techniques ranged from mildly uncomfortable to outright dangerous, impacting the daily lives of the women who used them. When we look at portraits of 18th century women today, their striking beauty is undeniable, but one can only imagine the pain and discomfort that lay beneath their serene, painted exteriors. Maria Gunning became a legendary cautionary tale of vanity, remembered for her so called addiction to cosmetics. One well known account describes how her husband forbade her from wearing makeup due to concerns over its effects on her health. Unfazed, Maria defied him, arriving at dinner with a fully painted face. Her beauty routine included rouge laced with mercury, a lead based white foundation dusted with flour for an even paler complexion, and a teeth cleaning mixture made with sulfuric acid, creating a dazzling but deadly smile. Enraged, her husband publicly humiliated her by wiping her face clean with a handkerchief. Maria's death at just 27 sparked speculation that her heavy use of cosmetics had been her undoing. Though no medical evidence confirmed this, the rumor took hold, cementing her place in history as Tragic Maria, the woman who died trying to conform to society's beauty ideals. Within a generation, this extreme cosmetic style faded, giving way to the naturalistic trends that defined the early 19th century. Homemade cosmetics were popular during the Regency. Etiquette and housekeeping books and magazines were filled with recipes for beauty treatments. Many of these used simple, natural ingredients found at home or easily purchased from a chemist. However, finished cosmetic products could also be purchased from chemists or perfumers who made them in house. Some manufacturers even offered mail order services, as shown in this 1807 advertisement for Trent's Depilatory in La Belle Assemblée. To ladies in the country enclosing the amount, free of postage, it will be immediately forwarded. Of course, there was no legislation for the safety of cosmetics at this time, meaning anything could be an ingredient, and products could make any claim about their effectiveness. Lead and mercury were known to be harmful, but etiquette experts advised avoiding these ingredients in favor of vegetable-based alternatives. Social standing also played a role in beauty choices. Wealthier women could afford luxury beauty products or had the leisure time to create their own homemade cosmetics, though, in reality, this task often fell to a lady's maid. Meanwhile, working class women relied on cheaper imitations of high end products available in pharmacies. Voluminous hairstyles concealed more than just fashion statements, they hid secrets too. Take syphilis, for instance. In its advanced stages, the disease led to hair loss and open sores. To mask these effects, people turned to towering backcomb styles, elaborate hairpieces, and eventually powder to create the illusion of fullness. Lice were an unavoidable nuisance, so much so that ladies' lice combs evolved into elongated forks, allowing them to scratch their scalps without disturbing their carefully set hairstyles. Once an expensive coiffure was arranged, washing it was out of the question. Your hair was an investment. It wasn't uncommon for weeks or even months to pass without cleansing the scalp. The combination of heat, layers of styling products, and pig fat used as a setting agent must have been unbearable. Now, let's talk about personal hygiene. You might assume that people during the Regency were dirty and unkempt, but that's not entirely true. Bathing was considered important, though full body immersion in water wasn't always a daily practice. Many people preferred to wash their face, hands, and neck regularly, while reserving full baths for special occasions. Perfumes and scented waters were popular for freshening up. Lavender water, rose water, and orange blossom water were common choices. Wealthier women also had access to soap made from olive oil and scented with herbs or flowers. Dental hygiene was another concern. Tooth powders made from crushed eggshells, charcoal, and salt were used to clean teeth. Toothbrushes existed but were often made with animal bristles. Despite these efforts, tooth decay was common, and many people eventually lost their teeth. You're probably asking yourself, how did older women approach beauty? Well, while younger ladies were expected to embrace their natural glow, older women often turned to more obvious makeup to maintain a youthful appearance. The use of white paint and rouge was more acceptable for older women, even if some etiquette books looked down on it. One rather backhanded compliment from the era states, "When a person is young, to paint would be perfectly ridiculous. But when an antiqued and venerable dowager covers her brown and shriveled skin with white paint and rouge, we are sincerely thankful to her, for then we can look at her at least without disgust." Ouch! Well, these motherfuckers. So there you have it, my lovelies, the beauty secrets of the Regency era. From delicate rouge to the dangers of mercury lace lotions, achieving that effortless, natural look took quite a bit of effort. Thank you for joining me on this historical deep dive. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review, and don't forget to follow us on YouTube. Until next time, my loves, stay hydrated, stay safe, and you'll hear from me next week.